We're back at some cat toys today. We're gonna make this little slice of toast. The one I have here is just plain on both sides, but I think for today, making one with you, I'm gonna make one side purple so it looks like it's got some jam on it. So this one was rejected from my little pattern collections because it didn't pass one particular test I do with all of my cat toys. I think it's cute. I know what it is, I can tell, but when I ask my husband or my best friend Jason, every time I make a new toy, I ask them, without giving them any hints, tell me what you think this is. And if they can't guess, then it doesn't pass the test. It doesn't pass if someone can't figure out what the object is. But so this is just a little slice of toast. So maybe it jumped right out to you right away. Maybe it didn't. Doesn't matter. We're gonna make one for our kitty cats, and you know, if they're not sure what it is, you can tell them, or you can just let them play with it and they will not care either way. I guarantee it. So for the things we'll need, we're gonna need a 4mm hook, a crochet hook. We're gonna need some yarn needles and some scissors and worsted weight yarn. You want a color for the crust, a color for the body of the toast, and if you want, a color for your jam side. Totally up to you guys. We're going to start with that lighter inner color and our hook. We've got our inner color and our hook. We'll start with a magic circle. We're going to take the long end, cross it over that short end, leaving that off as a tail. We're just going to hold it as if we were going to make a slip knot, but we're just not finishing the knot. Going through the front of the loop to the back with our hook, we're going to pull up 2 chains, and then there's our magic circle. So we're going to keep going. We're going to single crochet into our magic circle, so we're just holding that loop, holding the tail off to the side we're going to be working down. That way when we pull on the tail, it will close up that circle. So we're going to in through the front, wrap our yarn, pull it up, wrap, pull through those 2 loops on the hook. That's our first single crochet. So we're going to make 8 of these. Once we have all 8, we'll pull on our tail to create that first circle. So we're about halfway there. This pattern is very quick. It actually only has 5 rounds. So we are going to be done pretty darn quick. Let me just double check, make sure I didn't do too many. 2, 3, 4. All right, we've got our 8. So we're going to keep those there. We're taking that little short tail, we're going to pull, and you can see that little loop just closes itself up. And we're going to go in to that very first stitch we made, wrap our yarn, pull it through there, and then we're going to pull it through the last loop on the hook. And now we have our circle all finished. So for round 2, we'll chain 1. This one's going to be a little different. We're going to single crochet into where we just made that chain from that very first stitch. And then our next stitch is going to be half double crochets. So this one, we're going to wrap our yarn around our hook before we do anything else. We're going in to the next stitch. We're going to wrap, pull up. Now you can see we've got 3 loops on the hook. Wrap, pull through all 3. And we're going to be doing that 6 times into that same stitch. So it's creating that first corner of our bread. We got a few more here. And one more. It gets a little tight there. You gotta make sure you keep going into that one stitch. And then the next one is just a plain single crochet. Going in. A little hard to find after doing those 6, but it's there, I promise. So now for our next corner, we're gonna do 3 single crochets. So they're just plain single crochets. So we go in, wrap once we're down there, wrap, pull through 2, and going into that same spot again. So we're increasing our stitches here, creating a little corner. So it's almost like you're making a little granny square, but it will be 3-dimensional. So we've got those 3. We've got a plain single crochet in the next. And in the next, we're going to work 3 again, making that bottom corner. We are almost finished with this guy. Okay, and then 1 single crochet in that next stitch. There he is. And then this last one is going to be 6 excuse me, 6 half double crochets. You can already kind of see the little slice of toast there. So we're making that last corner, wrapping our yarn, going in, wrap. We've got those 3 again because we're working a half double crochet. And we'll keep going until we have 6. So we wrap, going into that seam stitch, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through all 3. And we've got 3 more. Now when we get to the end here, we're going to slip stitch to join. We're going to have to work a little bit harder because that single crochet will be a bit lower than these half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 1 more. We've got all of our stitches done for that second round. We're going to slip stitch into that very first single crochet we made, so it's way down there. But before we do that, we're going to change colors, and we might knot off that beginning tail just to make sure that that loop stays nice and tight. So we'll grab our slightly darker yarn here, just thinking of it as your crust color here. This is going to be those sides of the toy that make it 3-dimensional. So I'm just going to double knot it on, especially if you're giving it to a cat or even a kid, because it will keep it from coming undone. So that beginning tail right in the center, I'm going to tie that off before we go any further. That's also just going to keep things in place where we want them. We'll go ahead and thread that through. And then working on the inside, I'm just going to kind of give it a little tug, make sure it's as tight as it can be. And then I'm going to grab a piece of a stitch down there and just make a plain old knot. Pull that tight, and I'll just leave that tail on the inside now, so it doesn't have to get woven in or anything special. So now the darker color, our crust color, is going to be our working yarn. And if you are doing both sides of the toast this same color, you'll want to keep that yarn attached. But if you are going to switch to a jam color, you can cut the lighter color off now. So we're just going in to the top of that single crochet, that very first one, and we're going to slip stitch to that other side. So we're starting to have that slice of bread shape. To make our crust, we're going to chain 1 to come up to height, and then each stitch around should be 22 stitches around. We're just going to single crochet into each stitch, working through the back loop only. So we're getting just the back loop of our little V there. And I'll just show you up close real quick. You can see that little V shape from the tops of the stitches. You want to go in through the back only. So you can see the top or front of that V is still there. We've got the back, and we're just creating a single crochet through there. So you're going to keep going all the way around, and when we get back to the beginning, we're going to slip stitch to join. Okay, we finished that first round through. We're going to slip stitch into our very first stitch of that round, and then we're going to chain 1. And this is just going to be a plain round, 1 single crochet in each stitch, so we're still at 22 stitches. You don't have to go through the back loops anymore. You can grab both. That's going to flatten out our crust edge. So we're just going in through both, wrap the yarn, pull it up, wrap, pull through 2, and continue on all the way until you're back at the beginning before you slip stitch for our next round. That's going to be where our next color change is. So if you still have that tan on, that center piece of your toast color on, we can just switch it over to there. If you've got a jam color you want, we'll attach that there. So keep going and I will meet you at round 5. All right, we finished our crust. We have changed color to our jam color, or if you're keep going with the toast color, you can. I have slip stitched, I've chained one, and my next step is going to be 1 single crochet and then 6 half double crochets together. It's going to be a lot of things on the hook at once, but we'll make it. So we're going to wrap. We're going to go through the back loop, pull up. We're going to wrap, go through the back loop only of the next, wrap, pull up. We're going to keep going until we've done 6 stitches together. So we've got 3 more to go here. Back loop only, wrap, pull up, wrap, go in. And let me just double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. Yep. Wrap, back loop only, wrap, pull up. So we've got a lot to pull through. We want to have just that very first one and this one we're about to create left on our hook. So we're going to wrap, we're going to turn it so the hook is down toward the bottom of all those loops so you can easily pull through there. And we come up, well, we've got just those 2. We're going to wrap our yarn and pull through those 2. So that's our 6 together, creating that inner corner of our toast. So we'll wrap, do 1 single crochet. Oh, no, I don't need to wrap. I'm still in half double crochet mode. We're going to go single crochet in the back loop only of the next one. And then we're going to be, oops, sorry, we had a frame. And then we're going to be doing our 3 together. So you could try to go through all the loops at once, or you could go wrap, go, and wrap until you've gathered 3. We'll wrap our yarn and pull through those. So we've got those 2, wrap and pull through. So plain single crochet in the back loop next, and then another 3 together. Going in, wrap our yarn, pull it up one more time. There we go, and 1 back loop only. Okay, and now we've got our 6 half double crochets together. So you can kind of see that's that one side with the jam. There's our plain old toasty side. So I've shortened all my tails here. I'm just going to tuck them in out of the way so you can see what we're working on here. So for this last one, back loop only, half double crochets, working them together. So going through 1, going through 2, 3, 4, 2 more. Oh, I'm at a funny angle here. And 1 more. This last one. Working on a curve, so creating that straight line for those 6 gets to be a little bit of a challenge. We're going to wrap and pull through, working our way all the way back to just having 2 loops on our hook. Whew, we made it. Wrap, pull through those 2. Nice and snug. Okay, so catnip, stuffing, do a little shaping, make sure your toast is the shape you want it to be. Then we'll slip stitch to join and we'll finish her off from there. So go ahead, put your catnip in, put your stuffing in. Stuffing is in, catnip is in. You can definitely see a little bit better of the shape there. We're going to slip stitch to join. Then we've got one last round. So round 6 here is going to be the most exciting, you gotta contend with the stuffing there. So we're gonna slip stitch, we're gonna chain one, and then we're gonna do 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So we should end up with 8. So we're going in, wrap, plain old single crochets all the way around, keeping them as tight as you can. Oh yeah, all that stuffing wants to get stuck in there. Once you have all of your single crochets, you're all the way back at the beginning, we'll slip stitch to join. Keep going. And we will join, and we'll cut off a long enough piece of whatever color you ended with here to use to weave those stitches together to close up that center and to tie off. So getting a nice long tail, we'll give it a little snip, and then we're just going to take that tail, wrap it around our hook, pull it through there, make sure that knot is as tight as we can get it, and you can manipulate that, all that stuffing in there around to get it where you want it, get it the shape you want, and we're going to thread this tail onto our yarn needle. So we have our yarn needle threaded, we're going to go through the first stitch, out the next, and same thing on the next 2 stitches. You're just going in and out, weaving through the top of those stitches. When you get back to the beginning, we're going to pull them so that they pull tight and we can get it nice and flat there. Now that center piece is done, we're going to grab just any leg from there to tie it off. Create that little loop, we'll send that needle through there. Then we pull, make sure that knot is as tight as we can get it. And whichever direction that knot lays the flattest, we will send our needle through the toy. So then the tail will just come out somewhere else. And we will snip off what's left, give that a little squish, make sure there's no pieces of the tail sticking out. And then our little toast is done. We got jam on one side and just plain old bread on the other. Well, anyway, thank you for joining me. Hope you had fun making a little slice of toast with me. You could make a few, create a little loaf of bread if you wanted to, or one side jelly, one side peanut butter. Totally your call. Anyway, I hope you and your cat friends enjoy this little toast toy. Thank you so much for joining me. See you next time. Bye.